And we are live at another Herbal Tea Thursday. How you doing, Giovanni?
Doing great. Y'all, welcome to another episode of Herbal Tea Thursday, your wellness live series. It's your healthy habits and lifestyle coach, Giovanni, host of the Empowered Plates, Empowered Lives podcast. With my girl.
Well, girl, what was wrong with my intro? What was wrong with my intro? Why did you redo my intro? Huh? My intro was like, hey, welcome. What was wrong with my intro?
Didn't think anything was wrong. I just went with my normal flow. Sorry, I was just tossing
I
it right back.
know, but I could intro us. It doesn't have to be that way. This is a dual show. I could intro us,
It is. I didn't even realize I said you couldn't.
It's
Never
not,
thought
no,
I
it's
said
not
you
that
couldn't.
it's not that you said I couldn't. I introed us, and you redid my intro. That's why I said, what was wrong with
Welcome,
my
y'all.
intro?
Shireen did a bomb intro. I came back through with the live afterwards with my intro. And now we about to get into this thing because it's June. I hope y'all feel very well with the intro. So what you sipping on, Shireen?
Hi, everyone. It's Shireen, the host of Voices and Vibes. I'll intro myself because I did a little bit. And Perspective Studio Productions. And I'm only, Giovanni, to answer your question, drinking water today. Straight water.
Yeah, I'm drinking
Nothing else.
pineapple, lime, and ginger juice. Pineapple, lime, and
Okay.
ginger juice. I'm on a liquid detox.
Oh, that's good. That
That's
is
for
good.
sure. I started with
I am
watermelon
just
juice.
doing water.
Yeah, I started with watermelon juice, and then I had some celery, pineapple, lime, ginger, and now I'm on my pineapple, lime,
Oh,
ginger. I
that's
think
good.
next I want to do carrot, pineapple, lime, and ginger. But I need to get me some more watermelon. Do y'all have watermelon up there?
Of course. What do you mean?
Is it as good as? Do y'all have watermelon in Trinidad and Tobago?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we
Is
have
that a fruit
watermelon.
there?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Is there
Trinidad's a. Say it again.
trop- tropical place? I was like, is
Yeah,
it as good there? It's probably better
it's
there, isn't it?
it's better, probably better than what both of we have.
I
It's
was
much
thinking
better
the
there.
same
Different
thing.
soil, better sun, same sun, different climate, just different. Yeah, that is true organic. What we get in our stores is nothing compared to what they get on the island. So
And not even just organic, but just so delicious, you know?
you know what?
Just so
Everything
delicious.
tastes so different out there. Everything.
Mm.
Absolutely everything. So it's kind of crazy.
Even like your curry
Uh,
tastes different, the rice tastes different.
Yeah, everything tastes different. Like, and I was more thinking about like the vegetables and things like that because
Mhm.
it might be cooked the same way, but it just doesn't, it's grown different. It's not grown differently. It tastes different. The soil is different, right? The climate
Mhm.
is different. So the sun is different. Everything tastes, some things are
Hold on right
sweeter.
there.
Yeah.
Hold on. The soil is different. The
Yeah.
climate is different. What
Yeah.
else did you say was different?
I said just that the sun, the temperature on that side
The
is different.
sun is different.
Yeah.
Y'all, that's a vibe right there.
Yeah.
That's a whole
Completely
vibe
different.
right there. That is a whole vibe right there. When you're ready for something different, change your soil, change the direction of
That
the
is a
sun.
word right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like that
Yeah.
wasn't just literal for me when you were saying all of that. All of those
Yeah.
things make a difference, and things just become better. Better for you, better for the world. Man, that was nice. I got something from that.
Mhm.
All right, what you
Yeah.
got over there?
It's a different vibe. And funny enough, right before I jumped on, my cousin from Trinidad said what up, on one of the platforms. So I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. Mm, I just need to get in some water. I have not drank
I
enough
have
water
some
today.
cousins that are in Barbados right now
Mm,
for a birthday turn up.
that's pretty cool. Alrighty, so I pulled us our card
I'm
and
ready. I'm ready.
listen to our check-in. Spend time outdoors or catch up on sleep.
All right.
What you got?
Spend time outdoors
Or
or
catch up on sleep.
on sleep. got in this nice heated type of weather outside, I'm going to catch up on sleep. I will catch
Mm,
up on sleep and catch me outside when the sun starts to go down and it's a little cooler.
okay, okay.
What
For
you
me,
got?
honestly, I would catch up on my sleep outside, outdoors.
Now I do believe
Yeah,
hammock type of sleeping is a vibe. So
yeah.
I got you.
Listen,
I feel you there.
it could be a hammock, it could be a blanket on the grass, it
Mm.
could be on the beach, with a little covering. Yeah, I would take that nap outside. Even a cool breeze, a light cool breeze. Mhm. Mhm.
I feel
Yeah.
you. It does sound
Mm.
nice. If it's a cool place or a cooler place, then I
Mhm.
could potentially see something like that happening or
Mhm.
opening the door and letting that cool air in. So you're submerging yourself somewhat into the outside elements and the fresh air while catching up on the sleep. That's what's up. Y'all, make sure you
Yeah.
check in the comments. If you're
Mhm.
catching the live right now or you're watching the replay, definitely make sure that you check in. And if you have not already, please connect with us on your favorite social media platform. But most importantly, give us a subscribe and hit that notification bell on the YouTube and let them know we're giving good vibes and value. Shireen, what's your wellness win?
Mm. Honestly, I've been sleeping good except for last night.
Oh,
I have been taking my vitamins, and that has put me in some good sleep.
mhm.
And when I said vitamins, I went to the health food store a few weeks ago and just picked up a couple of things that my body needed that I really wanted to get. I did my research and I have been taking it, and I could feel the difference. So my wellness win is like when I'm not doing everything I need to do, but when you do a few things, like get as a woman and get your magnesium, and the right types, and then it just kind of reduces some of the pain. You sleep deeper, and you dream very vividly. And then I even recommend what I'm taking to like two more people, and they run out and get it, and they say they see the same effects. Like, that sleep has been some real good sleep. Yeah. Hey, shoot. Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah. This is for somebody else, so I just nabbed up their background.
I love the
Nabbed it
wellness
up.
win. You deserve good
Mhm.
quality sleep. And I'm glad that you're definitely not that you're getting in your vitamins and your minerals and you're seeing a difference by what you're feeding your body and providing your body. I'm gonna say my wellness win um, is that I have been able to um, survive this liquid detox. I have never done a liquid
Mm.
detox before where I'm only consuming juices or smoothies. Go ahead, baby. Um, and so it's definitely been a mental thing. Sometimes when people think that they're about to, or they're going on a detox for their body, that is probably just a physical thing, but it's also such a mental thing too, to be able to really embrace the journey and hold out on it, especially when you're so used to just eating and feeding your digestive system that you don't really give it that much of a break to detox. Like that has been
Mhm.
such a struggle. I feel like today is day 5, and it's been the easiest day out of all 5. And so I think mentally I'm getting better with
Yeah,
it.
I guess
I
easier.
think June is going to be an amazing month when it comes to how I'm embracing this detox and the why behind all of my detoxing decisions in regards to like how I'm navigating it from juicing to mono fruits and different things like that. Just really hitting my body um, with a different level of care and love. I think it's just been a win for me thus far for the month.
And juicing it's not the easiest. Like, juicing is not the easiest thing to do. It is not. So I credit you on that because I've tried and I can never get like days and days and days on end. It's just oh.
I think that goes into like what type of juicer you have, because I only juice once a week, Shireen. I batch juice. I only do it once a week for the week. Like I do not. I'm not in there every day, every other day. Like I think it really depends on the quality of juicer and how easy it is to clean to make it
Mhm.
simple. Like just keeping the ingredients simple. I no longer go more than 3 ingredients, like main ingredients. I always do a lime and a ginger in every juice, but I don't do more than ingredients at all. Most of the time it's two. But you just got to keep it simple. But it's so easy
I,
for
I
me
don't even think I don't even think in that sense for me it's like the making it is easy, the cleaning is easy, the having the that's the easy part. It's the mental strength of like
now.
just drinking juice and drinking water, but I know that there's other things that you need
Gotcha.
that you should be taking, like other minerals. Like if you take um if I take sea moss in the morning as one of the drinks, it suppresses your diet, right? But so you'll feel fuller for a longer period of time. So it's more about that mental strength of only it's like as soon as you say don't do something or you can't have something, that's when you're like, I need it. I
Or you
need
want to
it.
abstain for something. That's all you're seeing and
You
focusing
didn't
on
need it for
without.
10 weeks before.
Right. That part. And you know what, Shrink, that you hit on a good point. And I think that was the shift for me with embracing
Mhm.
my lifestyle after being diagnosed with endometriosis, adenomyosis, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and fibroids was I was so focused on the things that was causing a lot of the problems when it came to food, like the dairy, the gluten. I was just, oh, I can't have gluten. Gluten's in everything. Gluten's so good. Why would they put it in everything?
Mhm.
Like the dairy, like all I know is cheese, eggs, milk, like all these different things. And I was like, if I keep focusing on the things that I can't have, I won't embrace and get excited and appreciate
About the
all
things
the
you
good
can
things
have.
that I do like that are good for me that I could really enjoy.
Mhm.
And I think that's what
Yeah.
really shifted me into embracing this lifestyle was getting excited about the food, either one that I've never experienced before, or two that I already liked and having it in a different way, and
Mhm.
remixing it and having really great experiences. And I think that's the reason why I like to share it with other people, because they just might like it, because you never know until you try something. And I think that was the big thing for me. Like even with us, you remember when we were at the podcast, because we're getting into our podcast topic now, but you remember we was at the
Mhm.
podcast summit last year, and I got some dish and I made all of us at the table like all try it at the same time, and we've never had it before, but it was like that
Mhm.
combo veggie thing from, I think it was to CB's Ross in Atlanta, and we all enjoyed it. It was like, oh, that wasn't bad. Like
Mhm.
sometimes it's just all in making a different swap or a different decision, and it ended up really good, and you'd be like, I wouldn't mind having it again.
Mhm.
So I think that was what it was. Thank you. Oh shoot, man, the discipline. It'd be a stretch. What's up, Nayetta? All
Hey
right, Shereen,
girl.
let's
Hey
get
Mayetta.
into it. Let's get
Mhm.
into it. Where are we in our podcast journey? Where are we? And I saw your clip. I saw your clip about scared money don't make money.
Scared money don't make no money.
Saw your clip from you out there. All shoot, already talking about the backdrop. I saw the clip out there. I was like, hold up, Perspective Studios coming
Trying to give
on
a different
through.
perspective.
Look at so where are you in your podcast journey? How you feeling? Like from the beginning to now?
Honestly, I don't even feel like I've gotten that far at all. I mean, I think I
Mm.
only dropped like 25. If anything, you should go first because you have more of a journey.
I
My
I
podcast.
beg to differ. I really beg to differ. You just said I said where are we with our podcast journeys, and we were just talking about Perspective Studios. Do you not now have a place where you're helping people create
Well,
their
I was
own
gonna get into
podcast?
that. I mean, I can speak on that. I was gonna get in, but my specific journey is completely different from for my
Thank
own
you,
show.
Nayetta. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Nayetta.
Nah,
That's
like
still a part of her podcast. Thank you,
It is.
Nayetta. That is
It
still
is.
part
It
of
is.
her podcast journey.
I'm a respond my way. I'm a respond my way. It's a different thing because like my show is not where I want my show to be, right? So
Okay.
my show is a part of my journey, and my show is what started this all off. So when I answer that question, my show's not really where I want it to be as yet, because it's like having the time, the energy, um, the mental capacity, and then what does the show look like? So that part is a bit not exactly where I want it to be, but when I think about my own show, there was a time that I was, excuse me, sorry, not scared, but like intimidated to do solo episodes, and I love doing solo episodes. I will eventually get back into interviewing, and I do have a couple of interviews backlogged, like maybe 3 of them, to be honest. And I actually have a couple of maybe just 2 episodes, solo episodes backlog. Like I filmed last week, but I have not had a chance to sit, review, and let it out. The I did drop an episode this morning, which I was trying. Today's Thursday. I was trying to drop it yesterday, so I think I recorded that like 2 days ago. Scared money don't make no money, so go check that out. What I am enjoying is talking about my entrepreneurship journey, and the thing about it is like I looked at my metrics and I see like, Shereen, you dropped 1 episode last month and maybe 1 the month before. We got to do more than 1 a month. We got to do more than 1 a month. But then though, when I do drop, there's traction, right? So it's about kind of getting out there. But my journey has really been producing shows for everyone else, right? Producing shows, growing from as a studio owner, as a producer, as a director, putting that all out there, just going after deals, and then just growing in that sense. And so my journey looks a bit different from what I do for other people, which I completely enjoy, and then versus from what I do for myself. So I'd love to kind of put a little bit more focus on my own show as well. So I'm going to really try to get that out. But I do, before I never felt that I needed to go back and watch my show. Now I 100% have to go back and watch my show and cut out things that I do not need in there. Yesterday, I got a whole phone call, or the other day, I got a whole phone call while I was recording, talk for like 2.5 seconds, forgot to take it out, posted it on YouTube, but it was only scheduled and still had to go back, take it down. So, but I'm enjoying talking about business. I'm enjoying talking about money. Um, and there's a lot of reflection that goes into it, right? So even the scared money don't make no money. Sure, everybody knows you got to spend money to make money, but I have a couple more clips coming out that where it's my reflection of, if I'm scared to put myself out there, I'm scared of making money. But that completely goes against what I'm trying to do. So there's like a lot of reflection um that comes out of it, and I feel like there's gems that comes out of it when I kind of like think about what I'm doing versus what I'm not doing and how I choose to show up. Um and I do want to not only share that information, but be looked to as a person that gives great advice when it comes to producing a show or creating a show, right? Like I'm out here, I have a completely different experience, just looking at everybody else's show, right? And how everybody else, their strategies on how they release their show. So there's so much to give, even to like the point of like putting together a set. So we started recording behind the scenes of us putting together the set, taking down the set. Um, we're learning, and we have to strategize what comes out of the room, what goes in the room. We have to see people when I get a lot of clients my clients guess, and I convert a lot of my clients guess. But my job really is to listen to what is being said, and then I identify an opportunity, and then we just start having a conversation, and before you know it, I've built a whole new relationship. So it is different what I do for others versus what I do for myself. And it does feed into me, but I have to look at it and answer it in multiple perspectives. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it does feed into you. When you say feed into you, is that like within regards to like how you're applying those experiences for other people into now your own solo episode? Maybe the strategy that you might be using for yours, or like how is it the
No.
reps, the confidence, being able to see how the conversation and the dialogue goes, maybe other solo episodes versus people who have guests, since you were intimidated at the beginning doing solo episodes, just like I was, like, doesn't it kind of still like flow to be a part of yours a little bit?
So I don't really, and you answer me, you asked me multiple questions. I don't even know which one to answer, and I kind of lost track. But it doesn't all feed into my show to answer that part.
Like your experience, like with the sets and
Yeah,
everything that's right now. Like I was
because
just taking the notes to see
yeah,
if
yeah,
it.
and feel free to like throw back whatever I did not answer because I caught that one and I'm like, okay, I don't even know what else to answer, but it doesn't actually feed into it feeds into maybe what I can give other people. My perspective on podcasting has been simplified.
Mm,
Um, yeah, it has totally been simplified because it's still challenging for some people, but I can see the easy part of it and throw away the rules, right? Like throw away all these rules. Everybody has rules. Oh, you got to do that. And you're good to do your own rule because it's your show. It is entirely your show. So you make your own rules, but there is no rules. And that is such a testament to who I am because I'm out here just flittering and fluttering like a little bird and a butterfly, you know. I am that kind of free spirited person, but the no rules things is the best thing because clients will do completely different strategies, different tactics. So when somebody comes in and they're like, I want to do this or I want to do that, or what should I do? And what's the benchmark? And what's the template? I'm like, there is no template. That's the best part. There's no template to podcasting. If you want to create a podcast, we can do it your way. You can determine the frequency. There is metrics to like baseline how what will get more listeners, right? The more frequent, the more listeners. And the statistics show if you do a season, when you drop off, your listeners are like, where do I go? Where do I go? Because it's not that easy to catch on to another show. They don't know what to check out next. But in regards to like how you should do it, man, anything you want. Do you want to go bi-weekly? What's your capacity? What's your budget? What's your capacity? You
And I
know?
think in addition to not having any rules, like you just said, I also believe that like switching it up as it goes along, because me and you both, we started mostly with like guests on our podcast, like having really
Mhm.
good conversation, different people. And then now we've kind of evolved into solo episodes. We're getting more confident in doing solo episodes. You sound like you're enjoying solo episodes. For me,
100.
I have been intentional about doing solo episodes, only because I really want to really hone in on messaging and really figuring out what topics, what value, what insights I'm providing that a lot of people are willing to click on, or in the audio sense, download, or on YouTube, click on, listen to for a certain period of time or a longer period of time. When it comes to solo, I think when you do start, because someone asked me this last week and talked about the value of having solo episodes, to have your own voice first so people get an idea of what the show is all about, then having guests. And I told them I did it the other way around. It's easier to find your voice when you're navigating a conversation with other people, because now you're sharing insights and perspectives. And then when you're able to take those experiences after having so many different conversations, own and key into your own journey, you're able to
Mhm.
now not feel like you're talking to yourself, because now you're sharing more of what that experience and education looks like. And so it like you said, there's no rules to it, but at the same time, like, there's still so much power in having a podcast to be able to put that out for the world, so people can hear from you what you created 2 years ago, 20 years from now, and it still be valuable, and it still be something that someone needs, because you're leaving that out there into the world for other people to have. And so I'm glad that you said there's no rules to it, because some
Yeah,
people see other
absolutely.
people or celebrities and they think that they got to do it this way or that way. And it's up to you. It can be entertainment, it can be educational, it can be empowering, it could be whatever it is you want it to be. Like, there's really and literally no rules to how you create the show. But I love that you talked about consistency, because consistency does build traction. But even in consistency, I heard someone tell me before, like, you'll start to get an idea of what your podcast really is all about 100 episodes later down the road, or like once you do it a certain amount of times, then you'll really start figuring out how you want things to go. But in that, you can still change it. 100 episodes might look like this with one way, and then episodes 100 after that up to 200, you might now have a new show that's in the morning with co-hosts, and it started with just you. Like, let the podcast evolve as you evolve, and what it is that you want to do, because again, there's no rules. There's
Yeah, and I would
absolutely.
even say that, like, it doesn't even need it's interesting because I do remember somebody saying that to us whenever they said it. I would be like, that doesn't even matter anymore. Like, if you choose to do a season and your season has like 10 or 12 or 15. I had a client wrap up her season last week. I had a client and we were talking today. She did 15 episodes. Um and then ended with a conference, which she was going to do a conference. She started with a conference. We started with her with a conference, right?
Mm-hmm.
um but now they're both thinking about, okay, so how are we going to make this different for season 2, right? And then even that part where it's like, oh, okay, you can start with a solo episode or you can start with interviewing people. I just tell my clients, listen, how do you want to spend your hour? You can decide if you want to record um, 2 30 minutes, 2 25 to 30 minutes within an hour. And those can be solo episodes. And then you can bring a guest, and a guest might be 45 to an hour, right? So there's no real rules to that. I do recommend that my clients create like a promo video, their very first session, right? So then they have some build up, and then they get comfortable with the production and the lights, the camera, the mic, cuz you could be all comfortable, and as soon as you get in front of the lights you're like, I don't remember what to say. So you get all nervous, but I love that what I thought it was or what somebody recommended does not have to be the same. It's not apples to apples for no one. And we don't need to wait 100 episodes to change things up. If you did 10 and you're like, that was season 1, oh my goodness, that was so great. Some people are not comfortable with interviewing, right? So they come out the gate, they might be more introverted, or they might be talking about their lived experience. So some of it has to do with maybe some of their topics and their personality, right? So who am I to say you got to do it this way? But then as they've gotten comfortable with the camera
Rules.
and right and comfortable with talking, they feel better, or they're like, oh, you know what? I've had a couple of conversations. I am ready to bring someone in. So and start having this conversation, or vice versa, right? Or mix it up. So right from the beginning, or mix it up right from the end. I think the best part is like the unique ideas that are coming to the studio, or the way I pitch it to people. And this part I won't really say out there, but the way I pitch it to people when I found myself in a networking space, right? Because not everybody wants to do a podcast, or people feel intimidated by that word or stuck on that word, right? So I try to like, take this rule and just fling it, and let's figure out what's going to work for you. And here's the different ways you can do it, and you get to drive this ship. That's the best
So
part of
I
it.
like that you said the different ways on it. And I want to go back to the person that you talked about in regards to the conference. I really like the aspect of business strategy. So for me, when I got into my podcast, we were talking about our podcast journeys. People always say, well, you have a business. A podcast is a great way for business
Marketing
brand,
channel.
business awareness. Huh?
It's a marketing channel. That's how I market it. It's a marketing channel.
That is what they say, and they were like, you really need to have a podcast. It'll bring more awareness to your brand, to your business, what you do, what you stand for. And I was like, oh, okay. And so that was like the first real big thing that I was doing for my business, and it felt good, but it just feels like it took so long. And that, so whoever it might be that's doing podcasting, and you're really out there and you're showing up weekly, you're showing up monthly, just putting yourself out there and being consistent, like keep showing up for you. Like the more you keep showing up for you, the more you're going to really start to realize that this is bigger than you, and it's more than just you showing up for you. You have a set audience, you have a set of people that need you, and if they haven't found you now, they're still going to be able to find you because you're not going anywhere, because you're consistently showing up. So I just wanted to talk to that person because that sometimes could be me. And so I really wanted to hit on like the business strategy, because some people may not know I could have a podcast. That's one way I can tell people what I do, what I offer, how I can help people, bring different experiences in to share those things. But I like that you talked about the conference. Have you ever used your podcast as a certain type of business strategy for yourself?
Well, the whole thing, my studio and my podcast, it already is the business strategy because people see me in the space and they're like, oh, where's she at? Where's she at? I want to go there. I had a guy pull up in the studio and he said, I needed to see where all these Black women were filming because they all had the same background, because the majority of my clients are Black. I mean, I take everybody. But he pulled up and he's like, top performer when it comes to like real estate. And he was like, he literally said, I needed to see where all these Black women were filming because they are probably about 90%, 85% of my clients are business people. But for myself, me just filming in my spot in any location, anything I do in the studio is indirectly marketing the studio, right? But I did want to say one thing that you mentioned. I wrote this quote when I was speaking to a new potential client that, because I say the same thing. A podcast is just a conversation. So when people are getting caught up on or intimidated by the word, you're just having a conversation that you typically might be having behind closed doors with your friends, with your business partners, or you can't find somebody who's having that conversation. You're not alone talking about what you're talking about. So you're not the only one. So your podcast might be an outlet for you to speak, but a platform for your audience to take in, right? So there's no need to like get caught on the word. We're having a conversation about something. That's what we're doing. We're talking. This is communication, right? And that is the best marketing because it's going to be more unique than buy now, buy now, buy now, buy now. Now we're talking about impact based on conversation. And so now people resonate more with the message.
Yeah, and I like that you talked about having conversation. So I know at the beginning, and I don't know what your hesitation was, because I know we both said, oh, let's we have wellness brands, let's come together and do a live. And I don't know if it was like you just weren't comfortable with doing lives. I wasn't used to doing lives. And for me, it was more so like, when I would get up and do a live, and I've done lives like by myself for a while now, it was like, I just feel like I'm talking to myself, and y'all would be like, you're not talking to yourself. Like, you're talking to other people. Like, we're here. Like, you're not just talking to yourself. And I'm like, but it feels like I'm talking to myself. So anybody who feels like, oh, well, I have something I want to say, I want to start a podcast, I have a story. If you are introverted, you don't have to have a video version of the podcast. It could just be audio. Like, audio podcasting is doing way more numbers I feel like in the industry than the video. But video is starting to really pick up depending on the platforms that you're on. So really it depends on where it is that you want to go and what you feel comfortable with. And so I feel like do it, and do it in the best way that you can get it done. I even met this one person who asked me about being on her podcast, who had an experience with fibroids, and hers is through like an audio message. Like she
Yeah.
sends a audio message and you just respond in an audio message, and that's her
Mm,
podcast. And she'll just upload
mm,
it to YouTube. And so there's so many different ways that you can do it. But going to the talking to yourself, I did this reflective exercise, Shireen. I want to say it might have been Sunday. I don't know, but whatever the first, it was either the first or the second. Remember, I'm on this detox, so I'm trying to be really intentional
yeah.
with this space that I'm creating with myself. And I wrote down, like, who am I really talking to when I get out here and talk?
Mm,
And I've done solo episodes, this entire year thus far. And I'm like, who am I talking to? And I realized I'm not talking to me right now, or a person
yeah.
who's having the issues or the struggles that I'm having right now. I'm not talking to the people who just got diagnosed with endometriosis, adenomyosis, polycystic ovarian syndrome, or fibroids. I'm talking to who I was 10 years prior to being diagnosed or more. And so it's like,
Mm,
what did my life look like at that point? That was a relationship that I love with dairy. It was not managing stress or eliminating stress. It was being a people pleaser. It was not knowing how to maintain boundaries, not to know how to even set boundaries, let alone value boundaries. It was so many different toxic things and relationships and stuff that I was having. And I was like, all of those things contributed to what was going on inside of my body. And I was like, I need to be talking to that version of Giovanni, the 10 plus
yeah.
years version of Giovanni that didn't know how she was living, was causing all
Mhm,
of this chaos inside of her body that led to deep inflammation. And so the episode that I dropped yesterday, as you talked about the episode you dropped with Scared Money Doesn't Make Money, and it's showing the evolution of where you are right now currently, like in your journey and where you've been. For me, it was like comfort habits that are keeping you sick, and things that we
girl.
don't even realize it because it's just the way we've been living. It's just been the lifestyle that we've always had. And
Yep.
sometimes we don't have the skill sets or the tools to change those things. But the first thing is awareness. We might not even be aware that dealing with toxic family members or not having boundaries is a problem. Not
Yeah.
speaking up for yourself all the time because you just want to keep the peace is a problem.
Mhm,
Eating
mhm,
the foods out of comfort because that's what we're used to doing. We're emotional eaters is a problem. And so I
mhm.
was just like, I have to talk more to the people who don't realize that those are the things that could potentially be keeping them sick and they don't even know it.
Yeah.
And I think that was a big thing for me. That was a big shift for me this episode, this week, is that I felt like for once, like I was really showing up, speaking to myself 10 plus years ago, but I had to be in that mindset, that thought frame to say, hey, you might just be, keeping yourself stuck just because of the habits that you have. Is not your fault. You may not even know it, but let's start being a little bit more aware of self. And I feel like once we start becoming a little bit more aware of ourselves, we get to start on this journey of really loving ourselves and caring for ourselves differently. And it's nowhere
Mhm.
near perfect, but you start to show up differently for yourself, and it's like a life-changing experience.
Yeah. Um, Goodness. I want to say something. Actually, I'll say that last part, but I'll say that what I wanted to say a while ago after this. I love the insight, that reflection, right? Because that is the growth. That is the growth. And I have seen some of your more recent content as well, right? And it seems like it's changed a bit too. And I don't know if it was just this week, but I'm like, oh, her content looks different. Like this looks really good. Like it's something that you resonate with. And it's interesting to hear you say now you're actually talking to who you were before you were diagnosed, because that is where people don't even realize that there's something wrong, right? They don't even realize. And you're
Majorly.
right,
I was so shocked.
the old habits, Giovanni, you're me and a client both talked about how we had some dairy. I know I'm allergic to dairy. They know. Now there's certain things that will not impact me, but there's certain, like, I will not eat an ice cream cone, right? If I eat ice cream, forget it. It's over. But like I have some fruit here that I brought and some carrots, And so I bought, because I had people coming in the studio on Monday, I bought like the little individual ranch um dips, right? And so it had like 6 in a pack. Girl, I didn't even eat it with the vegetables or the fruit. I had it with some chips. It wasn't the chips that was the problem. That dairy, just stay away from
Shireen, that was one of my favorite snacks growing up.
really.
Cucumbers, I used to have cucumbers cut up, Lay's potato chips, and Hidden Valley Ranch in the middle, and just be going at it. Salad dressing is next on my content to drop in the grocery store.
Listen, I had the Miss Vicky salt and vinegar.
Oh, Miss Vicky.
Ranch. And it wasn't even the Miss Vicky's that was hurting me.
I believe it.
It wasn't even the Miss Vicky. And then the next day or the same day, and yesterday I went to like an opening, and they had a beautiful, it was a new banquet hall. I went to the opening. And then they, met with the audio and the video people too, and they gave me a whole little tour so I could see how they're doing it in a bigger space. But they had a beautiful prepared meal for everybody with the ribbon cutting and everything. It's a big wedding banquet hall. Girl, they had this chicken, and I could see this cream sauce, and I'm like, ooh, that looks like a little mushroom sauce with a little balsamic on. I took one bite, and I was like, this is delicious. But I could taste the cream. This is delicious. That and the ranch tore me up. It's eating the things. It's eating the things. And when I started by saying like my win was like taking certain vitamins and stuff, but I'm not doing everything, and it's time to start doing more. But I love we're going to talk about wellness in a health standpoint, I think next week or something, but I love the reflection, because the insights that come out of it when we stop and we do a whole retrospective on whatever parts of our journey, whatever we're looking at in our life, that's when we're like lesson. So I love it. And but just before I wrap up here, the only other thing I was going to say, because I do have a client that does audio only, and I do tell my clients that don't want to do video, still get comfortable with the camera. Because YouTube is the fastest growing platform for podcasts. Audio is what people know it to be, but the metrics show it's your YouTube channel. And I've seen 1 or 2 people who have just like an audio only YouTube. That's not what YouTube, it works for things like water and frequency and all that stuff. But from a podcast standpoint, I'm sure there's few people, but it's actually growing with the video. So, a little tip.
And I like that you tell them to still get comfortable on camera, because a big thing, and this is going to go back into the business strategy. And I think you might have had one more thing to say, and then we can wrap it up.
That was it.
Okay. So what I was going to say was, don't just have a podcast and have guests on your podcast. Go and be guests on other people's podcasts to get in front of their audience. So then that way they know about your podcast or your business. And so that's a big shift that I'm hearing a lot of people talk about these days. And that's what I'm getting into as well. I think we're going to talk about that on another episode. I don't know, quite sure. I don't know. But that was a big thing for me. And so someone just invited me to be on their podcast. So I'm going to get ready to get on my first podcast as a guest. But that's just another business strategy. Like, have your own podcast, but make sure you're guesting on other people's podcasts. So you're getting yourself out into other audiences that they would have never heard about you had you not have gone and put yourself in a different place. So as a podcast studio owner, producer, I was about to call you coach, podcast coach, as a podcast director, all the things. Like, that's beautiful that you're getting them ready for camera if they're choosing to have their own personal podcast on audio, in the event that they're asked to be, on a panel, or they're asked to be on someone else's and it's a video version. They're able to still show up and be themselves and not be as hesitant or skittish or not really ready, because you're making sure they stay ready, even though they get to make their own rules with their own individual podcast and be audio. So I thought that was pretty dope. So I just wanted to make sure I plugged that in.
Yeah, but also even to piggyback off of that is like, if they go and they invite someone on their podcast, they're if that person has like that visual audience, they're more likely to want to come onto a visual podcast than an audio podcast. Like they'll still do an
Mm.
audio one. Now, and a lot of people are actually still surprised, and it's only because we're in the industry, but a lot of people are still surprised. Oh, wait, this is video? Oh, yes, I've been on podcasts, but I've never been on video. Right. So they're still like, okay, okay. And then it's like, well, what kind of cameras you got up in here? Oh, you okay. Oh, so that is 100% a strategy for you to go on other podcasts. I have a lot of clients that are using that strategy now. They've done a session, they've done a season, or they've done a banked amount of shows that they've released. They're picking up traction, and now they're like, let me get out there. Let me get out there and get on these other shows. But also, they're now opening up as well as they continue to grow their shows. And it's to the point where I'm like, oh, you know what? I know someone's show you can be on. Let me put you on this person's show. Oh, you know what? Would you be open to being on a show? Yeah, because I got this other client. So, I mean, I have said I don't know if a network is what I want, but we're producing so many shows that it's like, and the clients, anyways, they're wonderful. They make me grow. And I dropped that, I think, in the episode or in some recording I did this week. Like, my clients make me grow, and I'm gonna start showing some of my clients who are making me grow, because all down to my cameras, that is accredited to my clients. You know what I mean? All down to what it was the thing. One client said, Shereen, we're going to be up in the studio next week. We're going to need a clock. So clients bought me whiteboards. Now I have like this whole big old clock coming in, I think tomorrow. This set, I've been wanting to put up these luxurious black curtains that I've had for a year that have got no airplay, until a client said, Shreen, this is what I want. So they push me to be better, right? They push me to be better, but then they get all this goodness, and I get, oh, you know what? Let me put this up on the website. Add a little. You want this luxurious set? You just add a little extra change and I'll hook it up for you. So it's all good stuff. Yeah.
It is. It's definitely all good stuff. And I like that because something where you were talking about the different things and the different clients and them making you better, right? That's what you said. They're
Absolutely. Absolutely.
making you better. I think showing up and doing solo episodes this year, even though, Nayetta said it before, I think my intern has said it before, like, just you need to go do more solo episodes. The people love solo episodes. And I'll be
They
like,
do.
I'm not vibing with it. What really resonated with me last month is I put out an episode, and my episode, I haven't gotten many solo episodes that gets over 100 views, and this episode did. And it just so
Yeah.
happened to be a topic that I was planning to put as a webinar topic to take it to the next level. And so I
Right.
just wanted to tell like other businesses, the more you get out there and you're talking and you're showing up, the messaging, once things start to hit and an audience shows up and say, hey, I like this is, I want to learn more about this, I resonated with this, now you're able to take that and put that in different other areas of your business in order to really show up and give them more value. And I think sometimes when you don't hear from people and you're not getting the comments, you're not getting the engagement, you're not seeing many views, you're like, I don't know what the people want. I don't know what the people need. They're not here telling me just yet. Just keep getting in the reps. Just keep
Yeah.
putting in the reps. And once something starts to really shift, lean into it. And you don't have to lean into it forever. Like, even if it's not the box you want to always be in, like that. My intern go at it sometimes with like, I don't want to be known as the juicing lady, because it's so much more to healing than just juice, like that.
Yeah.
But if juicing is what's trending, or what juicing is what people are attracted to me because I'm simplifying it, I'm making it easy, or I'm letting them know how it benefits their body and that's what they need, then let juicing be the tool that helps them go attract to
Go
you,
a little
and then
deeper.
want to
Yeah.
take the next step
The
so then
next
they
step.
can understand, oh, it's bigger than just juice.
Absolutely.
It's deeper than just juice. And so I'm realizing now, as I get myself in more spaces, that juicing can be a unique messaging for my business, for my brand, for my audience that needs help. Like that could be their first simple step that they take in regards to helping themselves, because it's not the cure at all, because there is no cure, but it is a tool that they can definitely use to start feeling better. And so
Absolutely.
it was just that I wanted to say about getting better. Sometimes if it's not having the clients to help you get better at a specific time, it's showing up and doing the things that might feel uncomfortable at times, to start seeing what the algorithm, if it's done on social media, is really saying people are resonating with or not resonating with. And don't push so much against the grain, because you don't want to be placed in a box, because you're not in a box. You're not in a box at all, because there is no rules to it. But put
Rules.
yourself in a
You
place
make
that you
your
can
own
figure out.
rules.
Yeah, that's all that,
That part. You
that's
make
it.
your own
You
rules.
make your
Yeah.
own rules. And you don't have to stay someplace too long. You just figure out how to move stuff forward. Y'all better get it. What you initially planned for yourself may help you elevate to something bigger. Keep being consistent. Let that business keep you moving forward. I know that's right. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shoot.
Mm-hmm. What's Nayetta saying there? In the beginning, I
She
can't see
said,
that part.
yeah, she said in the beginning you were very stressed out about the look and things of your podcast. Love to see that you're free. You.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I thought that the second one was also Nayetta until I just looked up, like, oh, it says, oh, shoot, not Nayetta. I can't
Yeah.
even see.
Yeah.
Yeah. The growth feels good. Not only does the growth feel good for us, I see the clients growing. I see them growing in their show. I see them taking some time to stop, reflect, and see their own growth and what changes they need to make because they created a podcast, or while they're doing their show, the little things that they can do to change. um and it's not just like show growth, it's like personal growth, because you're having a conversation, you cannot help but to really start thinking about some of the things, even when it's not a business. Like, we have one client, and it's two clients, two girls. It's one show, two best friends, and they have more deeper conversations about their friendships. And then they brought their husbands on, and they were like, "We talk to these men all the time, but we've never heard these men talk like this." And their husbands are best friends. The girls are best friends. Their kids are each other's best friends. But like, sometimes it's just that conversation when you move yourself away from like your everyday thing, it allows you to go deeper and deeper. And so now they feel more connected. um they see their own growth, and I'm over here going, I'm just the wall. I am just the wall, but I get to witness all of this greatness of like all these individuals, one, be like extremely vulnerable and open, drive impact, but then the joy that comes out of it, right? Or the realness that comes out of it, the intimacy that comes out of it. And I'm like, man, they said if walls can talk, it's a pleasure. It is such, it's not a pleasure, it's a privilege.
There you
It's a
go.
privilege. It's a privilege. Yeah.
I think something that really resonated when you were talking about that was like when you say, I think it was like you're not talking to yourself. For me, it's
Hmm.
to anyone that's watching and you're showing up live or you're doing a podcast and the views are low, or the views is you and your friends or your group at the beginning or for a while, know that that's still you showing up and people are listening and hearing what you have to say. And it's not so much of the right now as much as it is about what it's going to be later on down, when people are able to actually know about you, see about you, and come hear about what it is that you have to share and offer. Because I heard, I think it was Ashley Kirkwood, and she said, I remember years ago, I used to get on live and I'd have maybe one or two people being on live, or I'd be on live by myself. Now when I
Yeah.
go live, I got 500, 1,000 people. I'm so happy I started with 1 or 2 people in my live to build up my confidence, get clear with my message, get clear with the parts of my stories that I needed to own, to show up and share that's really going to be valuable to other people, and not just be randomly talking, just to be talking, just to say I'm on a live. And so
Yeah.
I love that it's a part of the growth and the evolution. And so I just thought that that was important to say, because we're talking about our podcast journeys. The low views mean nothing today. What it might mean to who you're going to be, the stages you're going to be on, just because you put in these reps and you worked so hard on your messaging and your impact and the value and the storytelling and the story sharing and owning your journey to be able to do the things that you're about to do, the next step after that, and then the next step after that. So like really embrace the podcast journey. If you've started one, there's no rules to it, but at the end of the day, show up for you first, and all the people that are supposed to be impacted by you will come sooner
Yeah.
or later.
And
It will.
if you really think about it, if you impact one person, that's huge. That's huge. Before 500, before 50, you don't
Say
talk to
that.
50 people on a regular basis in a day. In a day. You know, so impacting one person, having 2 people show up for your live is still huge. Respect the small, because that one person could have a huge impact. It's not small. It's not small at all, right? And then on top of that,
And
we've
sometimes it's
also,
you're that one person.
but
Like
half
you're
the
that
time
one
you're giving
person
it,
that needs it.
you're 100% correct, because half the time you're giving a message, you're talking to them, you're talking to you, and you're like, oh shit, I didn't even realize I just said that. Listen, even when I was talking about scared money don't make no money, I was like, Shireen, if you don't show up, how you gonna make this money? That was for me.
My content coach said the same thing. If you don't
Mhm.
post, you won't reach your people.
What's
You don't post,
happening
you
here?
won't reach
You said you want to do something.
you don't
You know,
show up for your people. How they gonna show up? No, you here for them.
you're in that position. You put yourself in this position. You forgot the CTA. You forgot that call to action. but even if you're not selling, and your objective is just to talk, like
And you say
you're
subscribe for more.
facilitating.
If this
You
resonates, subscribe for more.
But I was just saying that you're a facilitator. You're a
Mhm.
facilitator to the sometimes people might not be engaging, but when they watch it, they can still take it and have a conversation offline. And then once they feel comfortable, that's when they
Come
start
on.
tapping in, right? That's when they start
They got
tapping
to be
in, going,
comfortable to
I,
engage. They got to
I
be
like
comfortable
that.
to tap the
I like
like.
that.
They got to
I've
feel
been
comfortable to
rocking with
type in
you.
the comments.
Yeah. Giovanni, I don't know about you, but I have been in a place where like I would go to some like an event, and someone goes, "Oh, I see what you're doing. You're doing all," and I was like, "Where? Cause who are you again?" But first of all,
And I
I
said,
didn't
I
I
said the
didn't see
same
you in my
thing.
comments. I
Yeah,
didn't
I
see
saw
you
that
double
interview
take.
you did. You watched what? You saw it?
You did what?
I had no idea.
When? You liked it? Hold on.
Yeah.
Wait, did I miss that? Are you in that thing where I can't see when people are messing? But people be watching.
They do.
They be
They
watching.
do.
So I would even say do not get discouraged by the lack of engagement,
Whew.
because eyeballs will be on you taking it in. And some of it, the lack of engagement has nothing to do with you. First of all, the message you're putting out has nothing to do with you. You are here as a messenger to give your message to someone who needs it, right? But on top of that, the person who's not engaging, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with their own security. It has to do with their own healing. It has to do with what they need. And maybe they're just not even ready to engage, right? So
I needed that part, Shireen. Some people have to feel comfortable being willing to engage.
100%. It has
I never
nothing
ever
to
thought
do with
about that
you.
part, that somebody might not be comfortable. I get it. I got that a little bit when it came to like Facebook. You know, people like anonymously post in like groups and stuff because they don't want to, you know, they don't feel
Yeah.
as comfortable. They want to be seen but not be known. If that
Yeah.
makes sense. I never thought about people are not commenting or engaging with the content because they're not comfortable. And so you might be sitting there, oh my God, I'm outside of my comfort zone with this episode or this content or sharing my story. And there's so many people that's not even comfortable letting you know that this resonates with them too. So I need to hear that part. I don't know if there's anybody else on their podcast journey that might needed to hear that to keep going. But no, that it's still
but even their comfort zone, like to even say, oh, this resonates. Sometimes they might just be taking it in. They are so busy taking that content in on how it's impacting them. Now, if someone says a message and I'm watching something, how many times have I quoted or said, oh yeah, I watched Myron talk about this. I heard Dave talk about this. I heard Donnie talk about this. I heard this person. Oh, I heard the 17-second, but maybe I didn't like it. So they don't know, but I took it away. I felt it. I'm out here talking about it, right? My eyes are on it. I might just scroll by. Maybe I don't want to like every damn thing. You know what I mean? I might just be out here scrolling. If my eyes are on it, somebody else's eyes are on it. You know what I mean? So comfort level is like, one, if you're the messenger, just take your ego out of it for like a half a second, because it has nothing to do with you. You're just given the message. When the message is received, how they process it, that's a whole individual journey of their own, right? So just go out there and do what you got to do.
Let's go do it, y'all. Go do what you got to do.
Do it.
You can do it. Put that mic on into it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. All right, so let's
wait, what time is it? Oh shoot, we're over. Wait, what time did we start? How long we been on? I can't even see.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. So while Shireen is getting out the cards, y'all, in the show notes, I got some good value for you. So make sure you go and check it out. If you're looking for some healthy swaps, I got a plant-based alternative guide for you. And if you just want to become a little bit more aware of what it is that's going on in your body, I got a root cause quiz for you, just so you can be able to get a little bit more insight on what is happening with you. All right. So all that information is in the show notes. You got a card, Shireen?
I do. And I will say, go check out Scared Money Don't Make No Money.
Hey.
Go check out Scared Money Don't Make No Money.
Hey.
Because now, never mind that, like, the first half, it's only like 20 minutes. Never mind, but maybe about 27 minutes. Never mind that the first 15 minutes, I'm over here, and I'm over here, and I'm over here. I try to cut some of that shit out. But listen, that last 15 minutes, gems. You'll just be rich out here in these streets, rich. But okay, I think this is such a fitting card. Actually, 2 cards came out, so somebody needs both of them. The first one's equal. Rest does not equate to laziness. Rest does not equate to laziness. So somebody get out here and get your rest. If you're a woman looking to the right, I mean, men can need it too, but like it works different for our bodies. Look into the right magnesium for your body, because it will help. It will help. And then this one, I mean, they're both for the masses. Rest does not equate to laziness. The second one is normal is just a setting on the dryer. And I'm going to ad lib and add on to that. So normal is just a setting on the dryer. Do things your way. There's no rules out here. Do things your way, right? Make your own rules. Create your own path. Don't worry about what everyone's doing. Kind of put your head down and do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing. Normal is just a setting on a dryer, right?
Rest do what you want to do. Laziness.
That's right.
It does not. It does not.
Nope. No guilt.
Especially
no guilt.
when if you're not rested, you're not going to be able to be as creative to be the best flow for your productivity anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm with you on that one. I like it. I'm with the flow. All right, y'all. Yeah. So Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Herbal Tea Thursday, your wellness live series. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you check in. Hit us with your wellness win in the comments if you're catching the replay. And don't forget to connect with us on your favorite social media platform. All details are in our show notes. So go and grab them. Thanks for vibing with us, y'all.
Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Toodaloo. All righty. That's a wrap. Cut. Now let's see if I can like get over here and like turn it off with my hand.
Sheree needs a remote.
Yeah, I do, because on my laptop. I'm not even like behind the laptop. There we go.
Now go in the show notes.